Warning, what you're about to see, do not try this at home. It is very dangerous. Alright, welcome to another episode of Roundtable Tech. This is actually a sponsored video today. Phizli has contacted us and asked us to take a look at their 2-foot by 2-foot LED panels. So we actually have the box here. We have opened them up, but we haven't really taken them out. So you're going to be with us while we open them up. So let's go ahead and get them out of the box here. We got some stiff competition. Alright, and... Alright, so we've got a 2-foot by 2-foot LED panel. This thing is just straight up a gigantic light. Now we can see that we've got a wiring box here. This is so that we can run our 110. Looks like it can also support 240, I think. Yeah, 240. So you can run 110 or 240. It's got, I believe these are for drywall anchoring. You actually peel these up and they'll lock into your drywall. And, I mean, there's not a whole awful lot to say here aside, this is a big light. Now you might be wondering, what are we going to do with a big light? And you'd be right to wonder, but we're going to figure something out. So we're going to test these, we're going to take a look at them, we're going to wire them up, and we're going to see how well they do. So please join us on our experiments. All right, so what we're going to do, we don't exactly have exposed walls or ceiling here. So we're going to take an ATX power cable here. This is just your standard 3-prong. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut this off. We're going to strip it back. We're going to expose the wiring in here. And then we're going to wire this up and then we're going to plug it in. All right, so we've got our light wired. It's actually time for us to go ahead and fire this thing up and let's see what it looks like. Alright, so right now I'm being completely lit by our 2-foot by 2-foot Phizli light. Now it was a pretty simple operation to wire it up real quick and it's working great. I mean, it's lighting up very nicely in here. We've shut down all of the other lights in our studio and boy, that thing is bright. Just blinding me actually. We know it does what it's supposed to do. Now this is kind of cool, but what can we do to make this a little more interesting? I think we try to use this for what it's not supposed to be for. We're going to go ahead and start doing some more tests. Stay tuned and let's see what happens. So what we've done this evening is we've actually taken the lights. As you can see, our two assistants have graciously helped us by holding onto the lights while driving down the road. And you can tell this is a dirt road, so we're not actually on anything legal, otherwise this would be totally illegal. But we did drive, and we drove probably a fifth of a mile, frankly. And it was easier driving with these lights than it was the headlights because of the dispersion, honestly. However, I could see while having these on, it would probably blind other drivers quite easily. So I understand why these are not, state legal to drive with something like this. Would I recommend doing it? Absolutely not. Can you do it? Yes, you can. All right, so we're here now. We're going to do a heat test. We're going to go ahead and take our torch here, and we're going to go ahead and start heating a section of this light. We're going to wait and see if we can get it to fail, or if the whole light fails, possibly just a section of diodes. We're going to find out what happens. Let's see.
I can't even see the flame.
Smell it burning.
It might be the plastic. Oh, you can see it.
Yeah, it is. It's going now. So let's try to power down the light, I suppose. Let's take a look at it.
It's all bubbly.
I don't see anything. I just see a square. So, we've survived our heat test. Next off, when you're in a house, especially with children, things are likely going to go flying. And it could be simple as some clothes, it could be more complicated as toys, or you can get some completely random objects such as shoes or 2x4s. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to have our durability test now, and we're going to see if anything can actually break this light. All right, Joey's going to be the one throwing today. Let's see what happens.
So we have a microfiber cloth, a partially used roll of painter's tape. I don't want to throw this too hard. I'm just like,
Just do it.
Throw it.
wreck it.
Yeah, wreck it.
Oh wow, that was significantly better than I thought it would be. A flip flop. It's a scuff. This isn't. No, there's no way. You get upset when you're gaming, so you throw your keyboard. Dang it! What in the world? Your kid gets upset that he broke his monster truck, so he throws it, and it hits your light. This is stupid. There's no way. A 2x4.
Hurricane damage.
I'm freaking done. Scuffs, nothing more. Yeah. It helps if you hit it.
Maybe hit it. I'll show you hit it.
Oh,
I got a dent.
you got the dent.
Nope, not much damage.
Yeah. There's some.
A
Take
slight
my
may
scuff
have
off and like wipe it all
your
down.
cue.
The one that actually did damage.
Yeah.
Did it actually dent it? Yeah.
Just a little bit. Yeah.
Because everything else is just.
Huzzah!
What?
Exhibit A.
Sounds like a piece of metal.
Okay, so we've just had our durability test. Now we threw everything aside from the kitchen sink at this thing, and it did really well. In fact, my shoe was the only thing that did any damage. This right here. Now this here is just a standard tennis shoe, most people would think, but this actually has a steel toe tip in here I use because I really like to keep my toes safe. And even throwing this at it, we only managed to get a little dent. So for durability, we give it a pass. Okay, so we've decided we're gonna do a little more durability because why not? And you know what? When's the last time that you had someone run on the roof of your ceiling? I mean, I know my kids are bouncing off the walls all the time. So we're actually gonna walk on this thing and see if we can cause some damage. Let's see what happens when we walk on it. Gosh, this is so weird. I feel like I'm walking on coals.
Nothing.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's sitting on the cushion, so that's just preventing the panel from breaking. I was gonna say, you see a little deflection in the panel, but it's not a lot.
Bring the Raider over.
There are some marks on this. You can see some small.
Small doodads.
See, this is the one thing that Earl did with his shoe.
Yeah.
Stop putting tape on it! Okay, yeah, that's fine. That's perfect.
Okay, so we've thrown more and more at this, so we're gonna have one last durability test. Because, you know, if you're going through a hurricane, I mean, what if a car drives over your light? So we wanna see, will it survive a car driving over your light? So we've got a nice sized minivan here, 2018 Chrysler. We're gonna run it over.
Might as well back it up. That is incredible.
That's way less than I thought it would be.
That is unbelievable.
I was so shocked when the first went over that I missed it.
It didn't do anything.
There's damage here, but that's
It's like a tiny bit of damage.
all. That's all it did.
Oh my gosh. Okay, Joseph, we ran it over.
So it looks like on the back side of it, we have some dents, of course, from the car, and it's a little rippled. We didn't actually run over the box, obviously, because that would definitely take it out, but there's some bowing on the sides here, and some on the other side as well.
It's almost perfect. So.
It's fine. Now, as you can see, both lights are very similar.
Now looking at this one,
Your
you can
knife.
see little.
We got a slow-mo.
Imperfections, huh?
Wow.
Yeah.
It's got a rubber handle, right?
No.
Yeah.
It's plastic.
That might be from transportation, too.
Okay, I'm gonna stab it. We've beaten this thing, we've run it over, we've set it on fire, and it's still working. So, the next logical step, well, I mean, of course, we're gonna mug it. So, here we go. 3, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1. Okay.
There is a slight
Yeah, it cracks
dent,
the diffuser.
but that's it.
Okay, so now if you need protection from being mugged, we know what you can use. So let's say you're at a construction site. What would you use at a construction site? A hammer. Let's see what happens. All right, we ready? Mm-hmm. 3, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1. Okay.
You want to come in for the
So
wipe
it's good
down?
for construction sites here. Let's say you're working on a construction site and oh my gosh, someone loses grip of their hammer. They're swinging and they're swinging and they're swinging, and before they know, just the hammer completely flies out of their hand. What would someone do then? I mean that's not going to happen here, you think, right? Whoops, whoops, whoops.
It's still on. That's gonna be a great slow-mo shot, guaranteed. All you did was crack the diffuser.
Diffuser
You
slightly
slap a
cracked.
diffuser on that, and it's fine.
We ran it over with a bloody car. Okay, landing. Just
That was nice.
it.
But there was so much
Every-
velocity in it, and it just
Yeah,
took it.
every little bit of energy was on that little point.
Yeah.
I think that if it would have hit with this side here, it wouldn't have done nearly as much damage. What happens in an electrical storm when lightning hits the lines? We're going to test that out right now.
So now that we have done just about everything we possibly could to this light, we're going to see about overvolting it. So we're going to take a little taser and make sure it's turned on. And we're just going to
Bring a little
put it to
lightning to the party.
Put it to the prongs right here, and 2 million volts. I think it'll be fine.
That frightens me. Give it countdown.
Seems fine. Nothing wrong here at all.
It looks like lightning. That's so cool.
Lightning bolts.
I don't know if that's right.
Okay.
It's working fine.
Now plug it in and see if the light works. See if there's any damage.
Fine.
It can't be.
It's just 2 million
It
volts.
can't be.
2 million volts, no problem.
Okay, so we've thrown everything we can at it. Now we're going to do the easiest thing of them all. Water. When you're in a hurricane, water is obviously going to be there. Let's see if water takes it out. Again, don't try this at home. We've got our man on our switch over there to shut us off if we have a problem. And we're going to be throwing about, 20 ounces of water at it, maybe a little more. All right, I'm going to try to stand back because I don't want to be electrocuted. All right, are we ready? 3, 2, 1.
Well, if you ever accidentally splash it after it ran over it with your car in the shower, then
We
Be
probably
okay.
should hit the water first.
it'd be okay.
Warning, what you're about to see, do not try this at home. It is very dangerous.
both scooch back.
Well, it turned off.
Yeah, as soon as you broke through the metal, it cut off.
Okay. Woo! We've got this in half now. We can actually see the separate layers that we have. Starting with our protectant film, and we have a layer of aluminum. Not familiar with what this layer is. I think it's just an impact material, foam. Another piece of light. And then a large clear plastic sheet. And then our light diffuser. And you know, I'm wondering if our plastic sheet is our light source. Like,
Look along the side of the metal frame. You can see the LED strips down here.
oh,
yeah.
sure enough, there's our LED strips.
Yep, so when we cut through the metal, that's why it died.
Yeah, as soon as it made it through the metal, it severed the strip.
So that's why this thing survived so well. So if we take a look, you can actually see the LED strip in here. So once we cut and broke that connection, then the light stopped functioning. So that LED strip is hitting this piece of plexi inside, dispersing the light, and then it hits the light diffuser to make a nice even tone of light. That's genius. Okay, so we've tortured this poor panel, we've beaten it, we've drowned it, we've taken it out into the woods, we've used it for headlights on a car, and this thing can take a beating, and it's an amazing light. It gives us quite a bit more depth of field of vision than we thought. It doesn't have as much as, say, directed headlights. However, being a scattered field, it lit up so well. That night was amazing when we went out and took those out that night. Tim, what do you think about them?
I think they're fantastic. I mean, there's not much more we could have done to these things to make them break. And, I mean, the amount of light output they give is amazing. I wouldn't hesitate to recommend them for anything, really. So,
Yeah, I mean, you could put these in a bathroom, you could put them in a living room, you could put them in your car. It doesn't matter. I mean, these are fantastic. I mean, out in the shop, these would be great shop lights.
yep.
Use this out in a wood shop or an auto shop or just a garage. Put them in your shed. I mean, they're fantastic. They just scatter the light beautifully. Overall, our experience, we had a blast making this video, and the lights surprised us over and over and over. We really thought that we were going to start getting damage to the light at a very weak level. It was like throwing the tape at it. We thought that it was going to cause damage, but it didn't. And as we progressively did more and more torture and ended up throwing the steel toe shoe at it, we only got a little dent. And honestly, it just kept on going. And this light just completely surprised us every step of the way. In fact, the only way we finally killed it was by running a chainsaw through it. And even I was a little wondering if the chainsaw was actually going to kill it. All in all, though, would we recommend this product? Well, for the light dispersion, as well as the torture tests, the durability of the lights, I'm going to give it a thumbs up. You?
Yeah, me too. Yeah, the build quality is great. They put everything in the frame, so that's the most durable part. And yeah, I wouldn't hesitate to recommend it.
Absolutely, yeah. They actually protected those light strips very, very well. The material itself, I suppose we should probably talk about the material as well, how it's layered.
Yeah.
Because we kind of touched on it out there. And essentially what's going on here, we've got our back protective panel, which is your aluminum. Then we have a absorbent material, some type of a foam. Then we have another white sheet to reflect the light out. Then there's a piece of clear plexiglass inside. Now, the clear plexiglass actually lines up with the LED strips so that glass essentially completely lights up. And then that hits the diffuser. Once it hits the diffuser, it disperses the light evenly all over the place. Now, something else, we actually calculated out the lumens on this, and their lumens is supposed to be right about 4,100 lumens per panel. So these were fantastically bright, and There was a nice warm color for what they were. They're not that real bright daylight, but they're not too warm either. It was a real natural light to me, I felt. So I think that's going to wrap it up for this video. We want to thank you very much for joining us. If you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe, comment down below. Let us know what you like, what you didn't like, what you'd like to see in next videos. And thank you very much for joining us today.
And don't forget to ring the bell.
Yep. Notifications.